Hello. Hi. I'm not very used to being on camera. At the start of the year, I told myself that I was going to uh, be more proactive in doing things and showing people. And it's November, and I haven't done that at all. The goal was to stopping myself from doing things and to just do them and show people. But I haven't done that. Um, I think I suffer from this very Australian idea of this tall poppy syndrome, where I just don't know if I deserve the things I have, and I don't think anyone would necessarily find the things I have to say or the things that I do very interesting. But people keep reminding me that's what makes someone interesting, and so I'm gonna try and actually show people what I do, especially as a very creative person. There's this kind of idea of like this counter cringe culture, right? We're so afraid of being cringe. It just kind of tears us up and stops us from doing anything, which is the most boring way to live. If we don't have anything to do because we're so afraid of being cringe. And so we just get washed out in this tidal wave of mediocrity where no one is different from anyone else because everyone's sticking to the same script. It doesn't sound interesting at all, but I fall for it every time. In 2021, I released a project of mine, which was a shirt and a hoodie. I think I had 30 of each, and I put the money into it, and I was like, well, I'm putting money into it, and people have told me they're interested, and then no one bought them other than like two people who I knew in primary school and haven't spoken to since, and then all the friends that I forced to buy them, and so I ended up giving the rest of the bit away. But we took some really cool photos, and photos that even 4 years on, I'm still using as profile pictures and stuff. My friends are real good looking, and so they're just such good photos. And like on a creative level, I don't feel bad about it at all. But I think because I put myself out there and then having a financial failure, I've kind of withdrawn and haven't been willing to share anything else. And so that's been a journey, I suppose, to overcome. Whereas, like, creatively, it's cool. And everyone's like, wow, cool. But then the business side is something I've never been good at. And sales is not my thing. And, like, basically, I lost a lot of money on that. And that's okay. I was in a spot at the time where I could. I'm not anymore, so that's harder. But I do find myself, I just have a lot of stuff now. I've spent a lot of money on a lot of stuff, and so I need to stop spending money on things and just start doing things and start putting things out. I'm creative in so many different ways, and I've put so much money into it, but I've never shared any of it. I started a new job in the last 2 weeks, but before that, I was unemployed for like 3 months. And like, what do you do when you're unemployed? Look for a job? I wasn't necessarily doing that. I was, but like very passively. And so I had all this time to be creative and all this time to ideate this kind of thing, but just could not convince myself to do it. I've always loved music and design, the two things that I've always been interested in, or at least for as long as I can remember. When I was a kid, actually, when I was a kid, I wanted to be an IT guy, which turned out pretty good for old Noah over here. But then I wanted to make games, and I studied that at uni. Never made music, and I've never put out any music. I've written a song, really. Maybe two. I love it. I love music so much, but I just can't bring myself to finish anything. I think that's a huge thing. Like, just bring myself to finish something is just crazy hard. I had a lecturer who he said a project is always always better 100% done and 80% good than 100% good and only 80% done. So shout out Shane if you're watching, or Katie. I can't remember which of you it was, but thank you. I agree with that, but I just cannot get that through my noggin. And I have this, like, why do I need things to be perfect from the jump, but at the same time, I also don't let myself develop a style for design, for example. Every time I take on a new project, something I haven't ever done before, which means I spend most of the time learning and none of the time actually practicing the stuff I already know. All of this sounds insane to me when I say it out loud, and if someone else is doing the same, I know what advice I'd give them. But I just can't get it through my head that I just need to stick with things and just go with them for a while. I don't know why that is. I want to start doing things. And more importantly, I want to like finish things and show them to people. Even if they're not finished, but like still get them to a point where I'm like, here you go. And I'm thinking that a platform like this is it's probably my best option, right? If I have other people to keep me accountable, then maybe I'll stick to it. Maybe I'll finish things. Maybe some people will be like, I wonder what Noah's up to. Even the people I know. I know so many people. So many people who like have had a conversation with me and seem to care what I do. And I still think, surely not. Why would anyone care what I do? I have so many friends. You have so many friends. Why do we not share things with them? That's stupid. That's so stupid. That's what friends are for. To take an interest in you. And they, for the most part, do. The ones who don't, I'm going to start doing things. I'm going to start sharing them. I get envious of people who can just do things and just finish them and put out bad things. Because they're always the ones who get better and end up succeeding. And like, I know I'm good at things, or at least okay at things. And there are so many people who I see, who I'm like, you're just doing it. So I guess that's what I'm doing. I'm just trying to do things rather than do them right. So join me in this journey. Thank you for listening to me rant. This is way longer than I thought it was going to be. It happens. All right. Well, that's deuces.